Problem with spring where I live is it's typically much cooler in the spring in the shore area than it is more mainland. And the reason for that is obviously when the breezes are coming off the ocean water is still very, very cold. So the wind is going over the water, turning cold, and then freezing us all out. So I actually feel very frustrated a lot of time during spring because, say, Philadelphia will be 75 degrees. Sometimes it's like 15 degrees colder here. So if it's 75 in Philly, I see them all hanging at Rittenhouse Square, laying out in the park, doing this and having fun. And it's only 60 here. And that's cold. I'm not spending the day outside. Well, not in short sleeves anyway. I would bundle up a little bit in a sweatshirt and all, but I get jealous. I want my weather to be 75 like everybody else's, but no, it's 60. 60. Not warm enough. So that's my main frustration with spring. And that's only, like I said, because of where I live. If I lived in the Philly area, I'm sure I probably would prefer spring. So here are some of your answers. Marcy says spring, I like summer, but sometimes it gets super hot and I feel trapped inside with the AC. Like I said, it seems to be pretty much an even divide between which you prefer. I have happened to notice, though, that most of the people that said summer are the people that I know from around here. So probably they have the same mindset that I do about the fact that we just wish it was a little bit warmer. And so much depends on, the wind direction and all. Like if the wind direction is coming from the west, that's good for us because it means it's coming over the land. So it's not going to be cooled off like it would if it were coming over the ocean. However, with the west wind comes the bugs. Spring is a difficult time for us here at the shore. I know, it's a terrible life we lead. It's a terrible life. Such problems. So there are your answers. Predominantly summer people here at the shore, and spring or the rest around the world. Janet had said both. That was not an option, Janet. I will let you slide just this time. On to today's blog post. I'm talking about moving forward. And the quote that I had put up is, may your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears, from the great Nelson Mandela. So yesterday we were talking about divorce, and moving forward after something like that can feel paralyzing. Even if you were the one that wanted it, it is a whole new life, a whole new world. And it can be scary as all get out. We have to move. Will you be splitting your time with the kids? Will you have the money you need to move forward in the way you hope to? These are the most fundamental concerns, the ones you will need to address first. But what comes after that can even be frightening as well. You're in your new place. Maybe you stayed in the house that you were currently living in, but now your spouse has moved out. Still feels like a new place, right? Still feels different. There's a huge gap where there used to be a bustle of activity. What duties have you had to pick up now that it's just you and maybe the kids? You have to do everything now, from shopping to the cooking and cleaning to getting the kids to practice to paying all the bills on your own, not only in a financial sense, but in a physical sense. You can set it up through your automatic bill pay or do it online, but you have to actually sit down and pay the bills now. Maybe you didn't have to do that before. Have I scared the bejesus out of you? I'm sorry, that is not my intention. But if you've gone through any of this, it's pretty accurate. At first, you just want to get through one day at a time. And I encourage that. Don't put any extra demands on yourself. Just get used to your new way of life in the most comforting way possible. I'm not saying go home and eat your face off. I'm saying in the most comforting way without being destructive. But this is when focus becomes really important. We are all allowed to be sad and work through our feelings. I encourage sitting on the couch with a pint of Ben and Jerry's with a day full of binge watching a favorite show. It is important to address and work through those feelings. But there will come a time when you need to start moving forward. Don't wallow. I know it's easy to say, but you are what you focus on. If you are only focusing on sorrow, then you will get more of that in your life. If you focus on the future and what you hope it will look like, it is far more likely to happen. It's been said when we are having financial issues, we tend to get stuck in a scarcity mindset because we are always focusing on what we don't have. Speaking of scarcity mindset, that run on toilet paper and hand sanitizer right now with the coronavirus. This is time to brainstorm, though, and figure out ways to bring more money in or eliminate some money going out. Be resourceful. You can figure out one or the other. You may not want to eliminate some things, but it'll be worth it for a little peace of mind. When my husband and I purchased our house, we were extending our budget a little further than I was comfortable with, so I cut back on the monthly bills as much as I could. Got the cheapest cable package. No Netflix. Oh, the horror. No Amazon Prime. We scaled way back on going out and went through those grocery flyers with a fine-tuned tooth comb. We both wanted to buy this house. We decided to make sacrifices in other areas of our life to make that happen. These are the choices we have to make. What is more important to you? Binge watching the latest show on HBO or not worrying about how you're going to pay the bill? And trust me when I say you will find other things to watch or even better, activities to do. Navigating all the feelings we are having is a monumental task. I know from friends that a big fear is starting over. Having thought you found the person you were going to grow old with and having that yanked away, jarring to say the least. Can bring on a sense of hopelessness, betrayal, anger. I get it. You feel like you did your part. You did what you thought was right to keep the train on the track, and it derailed anyway. You feel lost, a sense of injustice. Again, after taking the time to get through those feelings, move forward with what you hope to happen in the future. Do not focus on what you don't want to happen. I know you're scared. I know it's easy to go right to that. Oh, I don't want that to happen. I know you worry. You will do it all over again and maybe end up with the same disappointing result. But here's the thing. You are not starting from scratch. Your experience has taught you things. You have probably had time to examine what really went wrong. Did you come up with any examples of how you may have contributed to the situation? Because that's a good thing. No, it's a great thing. You know how to move forward with knowledge now. You know what to watch out for. You know what to do this time, or even more importantly, not to do. If you can't find a single thing you did to contribute to the situation you are currently in, look a little harder. I'm not saying it is your fault for the downfall of your marriage, especially if you were cheated on, but maybe there was something that caused your spouse to feel neglected in some way, even if this response was outrageous like cheating. Was there something maybe you could have done a little differently before you freak out? Don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses for cheating in any way. Here's what I'm trying to say. Were the lines of communication not as open as they should have been? Something, anything that may have contributed to just the way they were feeling? Not saying what they did was right or excusable, but that is something you can watch out for in the future. Is there something that maybe you wish you would have done a little differently? Notice a little distance in your relationship. Sit down. Make them tell you what is wrong. You're not getting up from this table till you tell me. It's hard to start over in any area of your life. A new job, a new town, even a new house. Remember when you first bought your house? All those new creaks and, noises and crackles and scares you a little bit until you get used to them. But this is the time to keep your eye on the prize. How do you want the rest of your life to unfold? Ask the hard questions. How will you get there? What will you do today that will bring you closer to that? Focus on what you want. If you don't know what you want, put some thought into it. How do you want to feel on your deathbed? I imagine you won't want to have regrets in how you lived your life. So think about what you can do now to make sure you live a life you won't regret. I don't want you to be on your deathbed and say, I didn't do it. I didn't take a chance. I didn't live to my full potential. Take your experience and the knowledge you are armed with by living life and move forward. It is all up to you. If you stay stuck in bitterness and injustice, that is how the rest of your life will play out. And I really hope you choose you. It is hump day. I hope you know what you want out of life. And if you don't, I hope you will put some thought into it and shift your focus. Make a shift, a conscious, intentional shift to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. Makes all the difference in the world. Now, go make today your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Ellen, starting over. Brand new life here. I'm the Hopefulist now. No more of the daily grind. No more working my butt off for other people, working for myself. And you know how you can help me help you? I can help your audience by you helping me help you and getting me on your show. Right? Ellen, have us on your show.